Hey, what's up? We are live and in living color, and I am Khaliq Glover, also known as Khaliq-O-Vision. I want to welcome you to another hangout with us. I apologize for getting started a little bit late, but a couple of tech issues that I had to deal with and provide people with links and stuff like that. So I'm glad you're here. We're going to have a great discussion today. Today, I wanted to talk about, I thought it'd be cool to talk about learning resources because there's a lot of great stuff out here. I am still constantly amazed at the quality of all the things that can be learned out here now that weren't available when I was first starting to engineer and even as a musician or whatever. You can pretty much learn anything at a high level. And I myself provide as well training, but I learn from as much of all the other things that are out there, new little twists on things that maybe I've already known or whatever. So what I wanted to do today is just kind of talk about the different things that are available. Some resources, mine included. But there's more than just mine. So what I wanted to do is kind of get your feedback on the things that have been most helpful to you, maybe point you to a couple of things and companies that I thought were great, as well as, I'll tell you about a couple of things that I do as well, to see if anything's a great fit for what you're trying to do to move you there faster. Because for me, the best thing is there's so many resources out here now. What you need is really just a way to cut through all the clutter now. There's almost too much stuff. And so what I'm finding that I'm getting from a lot of my students is they don't there's a million different ways to use a compressor, but they're like, which way is the best way? Which controls should I start with first? Even if I start with it first, I'm not hearing what's going on with it, and it's not giving me the results that I want. It's giving me a result, but I don't know why, and things like that. Or the EQs, I'm getting these things in here, but am I doing it in the right order of things? And is there a time not to do it and a time? So even though there's a lot of training resources out here and everything, the real thing that is needed, and I think the thing that is a little different about what I do is providing a systematic way to make all these things go through. But with that being said, too, I still want to talk about some of the things that you found that were helpful to you. Also want you to submit to me any questions that you might have of as far as how I can be helpful to you, because if you're facing some big challenges and you just need somebody to kind of take you by the hand and move you through, I think I could do that for you and help you just get there a little bit faster than just kind of trying to figure it out. It's so tough to do that, and then I've been there, so I know that struggle. So anyway, with that being said, hey, we got Joseph on here. Joseph, I wanted to talk to you for a second, man. Can you unmute your microphone?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Hey, man, how you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, Khaliq. Nice to see you.
That's great seeing you too, man. Hey, listen, so like I said, one of the things that I definitely wanted to get into today was learning resources and how people can move forward faster rather than slower in trying to learn some of this stuff because it can get confusing. Have you run into any two parts to this? Have you run into any great resources that have helped you move along and accelerate what you're trying to do? And secondly, what has been some of the biggest stumbling blocks, things that have held you back or whatever? Because I want to address some of those and see if I can help in any way as well.
Um, I could answer the both questions pretty quickly. There's a site called the Recording Review,
Right,
and
yeah, yeah. Brandon
and
site, yeah.
yeah, Brandon. He's got a very comprehensive set of books out. I mean, they're not 30-page books. I mean, there's a couple thousand pages, but he
Mm-hmm.
breaks it down in various chapters, various components, so you don't have to buy all the books at once. I learned more old school. I'm 50 years old, and I started with hardware.
Yeah.
And for me, when 8 years ago, I decided to, go full time and do nothing but record, and I was using tape and outboard gear, and wanted to get into workstation, and I called Sweetwater, and they set me up really well with a very nice purpose-built computer, and and I started from there. But I didn't have a consolidated resource that said, let's if you want to start with digital audio, this is how you're going to want to do it. And so I started with Brandon Dury's one of his resources, and of course I did like a lot of other people and scoured YouTube and got bits and pieces of crap that were good on their own, but it's not really, there was no continuity to that. This is how, you can go to Groove 3 and they'll show you how to use a plugin. And that's a good place to start, I think, for some people. They'll give you a very comprehensive video lesson on this is a compressor, this specific one, what it can do, what it doesn't do. And I found that to be helpful. I spent a little time at the Groove 3 place, but that was right in the beginning, and then I went basically stubborn, kind of, I can figure this stuff out, what I mean? If I could work a regular, hard LA2A, I can figure out a software LA2A. But it really wasn't that easy for me. I switched DAWs from Cubase to Pro Tools, and I've stuck with Pro Tools since Pro Tools 7 came out. And I think that's great, and to go to the stumbling block is it's difficult to find a resource that you are compelled to invest in that you're not sure if it's any different from the one you just invested in.
Does that
make any sense?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. That's a great point. That's one of the things that I always strive to do, because that's one of the things that all my students told me is like, colleague, you give us, even though you're telling us about the compressors, what's more important is you're leading us why you're using the compressor, because everybody else just told us, this is compressor, this is threshold, this is, and some get more technical and all that. But if you don't know why it's being used and when to use it and when not to use it, even more importantly, and in what degrees, that is, that's hard for people to unravel. So that's the one thing that I have to say that I'm pretty proud of, that I've strived to deliver to people. And so far, that seems to be the resonating point with most people.
I agree with you 100%. And I mentioned to you a week or two ago that I first seen you giving a demonstration with it was part of a Personas program.
Right.
And you pulled out a sign and you said, I'm going to repeat this question throughout this hour. What is your why? And I heard that and I said, this man is thinking the way I've been thinking. I want to get to know him, because if there, and the consequences, when you brought up the consequences to every action, and I've never come across somebody who explained it that quickly and that thoroughly. I mean, and you were rushed for time because it was a presentation, it wasn't a class, right. And when you got into that, what is your why? What you're doing something, why you're doing it, and what is it for? And I don't think I have never come across anybody, and I'm not a spokesperson on the topic, but I haven't come across anyone who's approached it that way.
Yeah.
Keeping in mind the consequences.
That is it. And it's funny that you said that too. I keep this by me. I can just grab it. I just keep it right here. It's so important to remember that for everything. Everybody wants to throw everything at what they're doing, the kitchen sink. And you've got to know why. It all has a consequence. And this is the one difference, because I hear people are so talented now and there's so many resources, but people can get lost in the rabbit hole of technology. So what I kind of do is I'm kind of the guy that Just says, okay, reel it back in. It's great to know that we got all this, but I always keep thinking about back, and like right now, I've been listening to a lot of old school stuff, like different stuff. They have a radio station out here in LA called K Rock. And I've just been locked on K Rock now. Before I was locked on jazz for a while. Now I'm just listening to a rock, all kinds of old school and new school rock from all eras, and learning the why of different things. Why is the guitars in this genre a little more present than say the genre that I come from, which would be more R&B or jazz or pop or things like that. Why are the drums a certain way and have a certain flavor? Why are high frequencies dealt with and treated a certain way in this style compared to there? I'm always asking that question, why? And this is what I like to pass along to anybody that I tutor and mentor on my tutorials, because that is the connecting point. That keeps you with the reason why you got into music, instead of getting in and trying to prove how smart you are.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
Well, I really appreciate you saying that, man, because that is important to me. It is on purpose that I do it that way, and that is what seems to work for what I do. I don't claim to give anybody anything as far as any unique different things that I invented or whatever, because there's nothing new under the sun. All these techniques and everything were invented decades ago. They're just, they've just been expanded. And all these new tools we got are emulations of other things or something to solve a problem that was needed. And most of the time, it was just something that came up over time. So reeling it back, when you reel it back and realize, but wait a minute, there were good records, there were great records, great sounding records that sound great to this very day, made 20, 30, 40 years ago, etc. Didn't have all this stuff. So how did they do it if that's what you need? See, a lot of people seem to think that you need to put all this kitchen sink stuff on it. And it's like, well, that stuff was just invented to fill a gap if needed. But the bottom line is you don't always need it. You don't always need it on everything, and you still got to step out of the picture frame to actually see the picture.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes. I
yeah,
agree with that 100%. I do. Bypass is my favorite button
yeah.
out of all of them. It is, really.
Well,
That helps me understand what it is I'm doing, what it is the process that I'm applying is doing.
what it
You know,
actually is? Yeah, yeah.
yes.
So
Hmm.
what's the biggest stumbling block that you run across? And I'll even put this even more specific. What's the biggest recurring stumbling block that you run into when you're trying to record or mix or whatever, that you think having some kind of help or resource to specifically guide you through it would be, the way, make it easier for you?
Right now, I'm pretty comfortable. There was a time when I really did go down that rabbit hole, the magic plug-in. I was believing what the advertisement on the box said.
Uh-huh.
Just slap this on there, and man, you've got a record ready. And I'm kind of comfortable where I'm at. The biggest reoccurring problem I have probably right now is keeping myself from being too technical with mic selection.
With mic selection, okay.
Yes, trying to learn the difference in what mics do, and finding that a lot of the mid-range mics that I currently have are so close to the same that I really don't have to think about that too much.
Mm-hmm.
Getting over technical with the curve, and is it, with what is the mic hearing versus just skipping all that and putting my headphones on and hearing what the mic's hearing for myself.
Right, right. Okay, well let's take it down even more specific. Do you have any problems or challenges? Let's break it out into sections. So let's talk about things like drums first of all. Do you run into any recurring problems with drums, or challenges? Not problems, I call them challenges because they're meant to be knocked out the way.
Uh, Drums that I haven't recorded, phase
Ah,
issues. I run into that a lot. I
really,
get
really.
files that have phase issues all the time.
Now,
Simple.
give us an example. What do you
Well,
mean? Like,
the most common is the phase on the bottom snare not flipped,
ah,
which is not too hard to fix.
right, right.
When you get used to it, you can hear it pretty close. I
Mm-hmm.
generally just throw on a trim plug-in and hit the phase with that and hear the difference.
Right.
And that'll tell me pretty quick whether the engineer forgot to flip the phase or not.
Yeah.
But I because I get files from home studios and they're learning, they forget to do that. And that's been really common this last 6 weeks, I'll tell you.
Really, really. And that's
Yes.
such a basic skill level to that's one of those things that should be kind of automatic. That's an
Yes,
autopilot thing.
you got it. And now the
Okay.
phase on the overheads, I kind of understand because that can get a little tricky.
Right.
I still measure. I don't guesstimate it.
Mm-hmm.
I measure it. I've got a pole that goes across where I record drums,
Mm-hmm.
and I've got these because I deal with a lot of handicaps and wheelchairs.
Yeah.
So none of the cabling is on the ground. Everything gets run overhead.
Ah,
So
okay.
even this mic that I have right here in front of me, it's up here. I don't know if I can bring it in the camera. I will a little bit later. It's
Okay.
all overhead. It
Yeah.
comes down from the bottom. So I got these clip-on gizmos that I made that snap onto this bar that goes overhead the drum where the drums are at, and I position the overheads different almost every time, unless it's the same kit, then I might not. But if it's a different drummer, then I will. But I've been finding that just a tremendous amount of phase problems
Oh,
with
okay.
a lot of the files on the overheads. Yes.
Now, yeah, now that's interesting, and that, like you said, that's old school, basic
Mhm.
stuff that most people do. But the subject today is about learning resources, and
Yes.
so is that something that's been missed on a lot of learning resources because that's such a basic skill? Was that hopped over by a lot of these courses, or?
I'm not sure because I didn't take a lot of courses, so I can't really answer that the way I think you want me to. But I personally think, and this is speculation on my part. I think that especially a lot of the young guys, they want to get it in the box pretty fast so they can get all their new shiny toys,
Mm-hmm.
instantiated and
Yeah,
and do stuff,
we're gonna replace the
mix.
drums anyway, all that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, things like that. Exactly.
yeah,
And
yeah.
just we'll get the groove down. It doesn't matter.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing, but I feel like that's based on what I see. That's what I think.
Oh, okay. Now, we mentioned Groove 3. There's some other ones. Ask Video. What's some of the other ones? There's it's not
Uh,
something Academy. What is it? Yeah, there's a lot of different ones. Let me look it up for a second.
yeah, How and Ask are both
Yeah, yeah.
sites that have. I've never pursued How or Ask.
How audio. Yeah.
Right. I haven't.
Oh, okay. I got you. I got you.
Alan Parsons' book I thought was really interesting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think his course was very very good. It broke down some really good stuff. I learned a few things in there and was reminded about a few other things as well. See, now here's the thing that I see with a lot of courses. There's a lot of great courses out here. Some of them are very high level.
Hmm.
But what people have to realize is everybody, even what I do, including you can't give everybody everything and cover every base. They're all snapshots of moments in time. So the way to get the best out of these learning courses is to, you know, pick the bird's eye view of the best
Hmm.
and then still keep it task specific, for what it is you're trying to accomplish. So many times people get something, like you'll get a course like you said, Alan Parsons is a great course, and got a lot of great fundamental stuff in there that'll get you in the right mindset. But the thing that might be missing that a lot of people don't tie it to is still all that stuff. You have to keep the thought process of recording for the mix. You know, so always thinking about the end result in mind and where you're trying to go with it. All these things that are being laid out and all these fundamentals, are they leading you to your mix? You know,
Hmm.
and that's the one thing that sometimes people keep them as separate things. It's just like when people record drums and they think about recording the drums and every little piece of the drum kit. When I first started learning how to record drums in the mid 80s, I actually learned and had to unlearn a lot of bad habits, because in the mid 80s, that was right when the drum set stuff started coming in, and drums started getting like putting a microphone on every single drum. Microphones, not just stereo overheads, but microphones over the overheads, then directly over all each of the cymbals, directly, there were so many microphones and everything that phase issues had to become a problem. And then on top of all that, putting noise gates on everything and just trying to artificially do it. And then now what happened after we got past that part of it, because I came in at that time when that was starting to really become in vogue, but then
Hmm.
it left pretty much because everybody started realizing, but that's stripping out the sound, the natural sound of the drum kit. So instead of us trying to get all these separate entities and treating the drum kit like it's a bunch of separate entities that happen to be in the same proximity, it's still a drum kit. Think about it like that. And if we need the proximity enhancement of a few key things here, okay, that's cool. But still, let's think about it. This is a whole drum kit. When I first learned how to mic guitars, I learned to, put the microphone directly up to the grill, usually a 57 straight on the grill, and it took me a long time to learn that there's different ways to make that mic self EQ depending on where you put it, different ways of it can pick up how the waveform develops. It can also start canceling out on itself, different things that happen between if it's one speaker or two speakers in the cabinet
Hmm.
that can cause problems later. So you always got to be thinking that even though you're learning great techniques and recording techniques on the front end, it still all needs to lead to your mix.
You're right. What is your final product in your head? What
Yeah,
is the
yeah,
final product you envision happening?
yeah.
You know,
And that's
I
a key word, to
yeah.
envision. You've got to get a vision of it. Even though it's sound from your ears, you actually have to kind of see it floating in front of you, from your
Mhm.
imagination, you know.
Right. I agree with that 100%. I do.
Yeah, yeah. Maresh, what's up, man? I see you're on here. Why don't you unmute yourself for a second and join us?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing all right, man. How's it going down there in Australia?
Yeah, doing well, doing well. It's Friday here, Friday morning, afternoon.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. Oh, by the way, I listened to you that sound stuff you had on SoundCloud, man. It sounded good, man. I really
Thanks,
like the
thanks.
jazz stuff. The jazz stuff was nice.
Yeah, that wasn't me playing drums though. That was my drum teacher, his band playing it. But I tracked it. The
Oh,
one I
okay.
was talking to you about, vibraphone and baby grand and all that sort of stuff. That was that band.
Oh, okay. You were having fun then. Yeah, that was a lot of great stuff. I was like, oh, I remember that stuff, man. That kind of a session. I used to love that stuff.
Yeah, yeah. So that was good. But I can't hang around very much longer. I have a drum student coming, and then I got a gig this evening, so I have to pack up everything
Oh,
for
okay. I
that.
got you. I got you. Well, we're just
For
kind of
running.
touching base and talking about learning resources today, some of the things that are out there, and then you've had a chance to study some of what I do and everything as well. So, what I'm trying to do now with all this, because I'm about to relaunch Mixing Academy real soon, and right now I'm populating it with some things that I think people need to know, and so part of why I'm doing this is I want to get the feedback from people that
Hmm.
have seen what I do and seen some of the other things out there, because there's a lot of great stuff out there. And my key
Yeah.
is to make what I do very efficient for anybody that gets in, where they get, not just great information, because there's tons of great information out there,
Yeah.
but you need to get the results that you want that's going to take you there
Mm.
faster. And so, why
Yeah.
don't you chime in on a couple of things that you think were great, and then maybe anything that you've seen that I do, because I know you've had a chance to check out some stuff that was very helpful to you.
Yeah. Well, I mean that pre-sonosphere, that presentation that you did for 1 hour. That was really, you were more touching on you're going right to the base of the whole music production thing. It wasn't about tweaking this knob, that knob, and turning this switch on whatever. That's you learn that over the as you have more experience. It's not just like one formula for every single track or every single instrument. So, but you were touching to the root, going to the base of music production, which I really liked. And often I'm attending quite a few of your hangouts where I get to learn more technical stuff through you and the people contributing, that sort of things. I mean, you are one of my biggest learning resources at the moment, actually. Even though I'm not able to get to every hangout because of the time difference, but every now and then I go back. I'll just show you. Hold on 1 second.
Sure. Yeah. It's funny too, man, Joseph, because my rush was at pre-Sonosphere as well when I was doing the live training and everything.
That's where I caught you at, was Personisphere.
Okay.
I know you were doing something with them, but I couldn't remember the exact event. That was what it
Okay.
was.
Oh, there you go. Oh, hold that up again. I forgot about that. Oh, you printed it out.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
and that's what you had it at pre-Sonosphere, I think, the
Right.
handout.
Right.
So I just kept all those sort of resources as just to as a guide. Every time I sit down to mix anything, I'll just pull
Oh.
this up and quickly check I'm not going off the track, or it's very often, like, especially for someone like me, I'm not that experienced compared to you guys or anyone else. So I could easily get distracted by plugins, by knobs, and oh, look, this thing does this, but where's the mix? Where's the song? Where's the music going?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Oh.
I use that as a sort of checkpoints, like see what I'm doing, and am I serving the music? That's what you want to do at the end of the day,
Yeah. Yeah.
basically.
I had that. That was what was that? Because I have different learning resources and handouts and things that I make up. Was that the one from my vocal mixing secrets class?
Yeah, yeah, that's the one.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And then I have a frequency chart stuck on the wall
Oh,
near
the
on
EQ
a
frequency
monitor.
chart. Okay,
Yeah,
that's. Was that
EQ.
helpful to you?
Yeah, quite a bit.
Yeah.
I every now and then it's just like it's not I'm not exactly looking at it when I'm mixing, but it's sort of it's there and it's in the back of your mind. What are you doing for female vocals, male vocals, or guitars, and so it just sort of slowly filters in when you're mixing it, and
Oh,
it does definitely help. I mean, from my perspective, like, because there's so much out there, so many learning resources. Everything is just digital. You don't need to buy outboard gear anymore, like if you don't want to or if you can't afford. But at the end of the day, you need to know the basics. You need to know the basic rules, and once you know them, then you can bend them the way you want it. But
that's
I can't just go and pull up a compressor and tweak some knobs and play around and see, oh, which one works if I don't know what exactly those knobs do. You know what I mean? I
right,
need to
right.
know what those knobs do, and then I can say, oh, you're not supposed to, have gain this much, but I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna compensate by doing something else. But by doing that, I get such and such effect, and which I like for this mix,
Yeah,
which I
yeah.
can do. But I need to know the basic rules first before I break them. That's
That's
how I
always
sort of,
wise.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's where I'm sort of getting it after sort of my sort of theory of, concept behind this whole new, everyone's doing music in their home studios, and there's so much out there, and you don't have to go to SAE or some big audio school and spend $30,000-$40,000 for 4 years or whatever, you have to do. You can get going pretty quickly, but at the same time, you need to know the basics of
Right.
audio engineering, and then you can go from there, basically.
Yeah, yeah. That's a good point too, because a lot of people are going to audio engineering schools, like you said, and they're spending thousands and tens of thousands of dollars, and many times, the education level, they'll get a lot of great technical stuff, and it spans the map and everything. But then once a lot of guys get out of school, they still have to figure out, okay, what do I do now? I've got all this stuff in my head, all this technical stuff. But if you don't know how and why, like Joseph was saying earlier, I keep my little sign, what is your why? If you don't know why you're trying to do all these things, then it's just a bunch of information, which is the danger. This is what I'm trying to combat right now, like that's why I did like on the a lot of people ask me, well, why do you create some of these free downloads, like the thing you held up, the parallel compression thing for vocals and stuff like that? Well, I'm like, well, everybody hears the term about parallel compression and everything, and you know about it, but do you know why and when to use it? Do you really know, have a systematic way of setting it up? And did you ever take my Crush It with Compressors course, Maresh?
No, I haven't. No.
Okay,
I
go ahead.
no, I didn't.
Yeah, okay. Well, I did in that particular course, it was like a 3-week course on compression where I basically just kind of took one thing at a time each week and just kind of broke it down and dug in to say, here's what's happening. Here's why you're doing this, because everybody hears that, okay, you need to put a compressor on this or do that, and compressors glue it together. A lot of people say compressors make things louder, and I'm like, really, they don't. you know a lot of it said that's exactly the opposite of what it's designed to do. Now the whole thing is knowing what these things are doing so that you get your apparent loudness up, things like that, but it's really not making things louder. And that's one of the myths that a lot of people think about using compressors and things like that. And it's like, so they'll put it on thinking that I'm gonna put a compressor on to make my stuff louder, and it's like, you're thinking about it, you got the wrong thought process about why you're going to use that, and technically that's not what it's doing anyway. Yeah, so it's interesting to me, but there's a lot of great resources out there, and like it spans the board. So like you said, you can spend like 25, $30 or whatever a month and get Groove 3 lessons, and some of the other ones out there, Sonic Academy, that's the one I was thinking about, and a couple others like that. Um, or then you can spend 30, 40, $50,000 and go to big schools like Full Sail in Berkeley and places like that. So it spans the whole thing. But the bottom line is you can get really great learning and training if you simply get foundation and fundamentals. I
Yeah.
did a presentation. I was on a panel last week at the SAE Institute in Hollywood, on there with some very big people. Andrew Sheps was on the panel, and Mike Klink, and and then Dave Isaac, myself, Dave Hampton, and you know, we were all in there just talking about different things, and it all usually came back down to everybody was looking for this magic bullet thing that you do. And it's like, it's really not any magic bullet things. It's most of the time, I told him, I said, what I'm going to do is, if we're all adults in here, and I said it last week too, I said, I'm going to say a lot of FUs to y'all, because, and I say, it's not what you think. The FU is fundamentals, or foundation, whatever you want to call it. And then the U is understanding. So understanding what you're trying to do, and that gets back to what we were talking about. What is your why? I can break almost every single thing down to those two parts of the process. It's really, if you got to get much deeper than that, most of the time you're doing too much. Now there's a time and a place to do too much, get outside the box. So I'm not against all that. But most of the time when people are just automatically doing too much, and then not realizing that there's a cost for everything you do. And if you just back up and think, what is it I'm trying to accomplish, you really in the long run will maybe have to do a lot less than you think, you know. My hat is always off to when I hear guys like you know, Tony Maserati and some of those cats will admit that, you know, it's a, they'll have a hit record that they mix and they say, hey, I mixed that right on my MacBook Pro, you know, while I mixed a lot of it while I was on an airplane or traveling somewhere, you know, you know what I'm saying? And it's like,
Hmm.
everybody thinks that you need all this stuff, you know, and there's nothing wrong with having it, you know, but when it comes down to it, if you understand your fundamental process and approach, you're going to be good no matter what you've got, you know. So yeah, you know. Well, I'm glad that stuff was helpful, man. I've got some new downloads that I'm gonna have coming up pretty soon because, like I mentioned previously before, those of you that are watching us now too, we're talking today about some great learning resources out there, and you know, some of the things that you may have learned from some of the better resources, and then I'm throwing in a few of my own because this is what I do as well to try to
Hmm.
help you accelerate your learning and get there faster and with a lot less trial and error because everybody has so much information they still got to go through a lot of trial and error. It's a lot better when you've got somebody to hold you by the hand and just, colleague, can you just show me how to do this and let me understand why we're doing this, you know,
Hmm.
that's so valuable, man. So we got a few people here that are watching us right now online, and I want you to realize that I've got some stuff coming. I'm going to be releasing and opening Mixing Academy again. I did it temporarily, but like about a year or two ago. I'm going to redo it because a lot of people said, man, can you do that again? It was a great community. It was a free resource, so you can become a member for free and get in. And then you can just choose the levels of engagement that you want. But you can get a lot of basic training in there for free and go through and get it. So I want you guys to let me know what is going to be most helpful for you as I do this. Send me questions, and you can send. In fact, I'm gonna put my email and all this other stuff on here so that you guys can understand that the resources are there. I want you to see it. Let me put this up real quick because you can contact me at Khaliq at Khaliq-O-Vision.com and tell me what are some of the biggest problems and challenges that you're facing, and maybe how I can help you. You know, something that's I mentioned to Joseph, recurring challenges are a big thing because many times things will keep coming up over and over again. You know, also, if you want to get notified of these hangouts that we're doing, go to mymusichangouts.com and register so that you get notified when we do these. You'll be on the notification list, you know. And then there we got the URL to Mixing Academy. It's not up and ready yet. I'm still doing the thing, but there is a free download on the front page as well, so you can get that if you want. You know, it's another resource for compression, and you can download that absolutely free. So I just wanted to show you guys that.
Okay.
And let me go back to the screen share. And Myresh, did you get that new Mixing Academy download I had for the compression?
No, no. Sorry, I was just looking away.
Oh,
Ah, uh, did you just post it here on the?
let me put up the let me put up the website, and then that way you can see it. And just the front page, you know, even though you're already on my mailing list, it's still a
Yeah.
good thing to get on there and just kind of see. So let me see if I can do a screen share and have you see see the page. Let me see. Go to. I'll have to pull it off here. Let's try this again. All right. Stand by, guys. I'm just trying to get to it. Oh, here it is. Okay, I got it. There it is. It's a compressor settings cheat sheet that I made. You know, that's just showing part of it, like it's cut off, but it's got some, you know, different settings and everything that are great starting points for mixing and recording. Absolutely free. Go to mixingacademy.com and just put in your information down here. There's a click here to download. Just click
Oh
on
yeah.
that button, and then that way you can download it. And it's very helpful. Do like you did and print it out, man, and you can refer to it all the time. Yeah, let me let's see. I got this. This is kind of what it looks like.
Yeah, I got it.
Cool.
Yeah. So we got snare drums, kick drums, electric guitar. We got vocals, keyboards, a bunch of other things. The ways to deal with threshold and ways to deal with compression ratios, and all this. Just a nice helpful resource to help you get it. Oh, and this is the crush. That's my Crush It with Compressors course. That's kind of where it came from, but I just wanted to provide it as a resource for you guys to get while I'm building this site out. So mixingacademy.com coming soon. I want you guys to be part of that as well. And I'm going to be actually asking for a few people to help me beta test it as well. So I'll let you guys know when I get that going if you want to be part of the limited beta testing group.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure, that
definitely.
would be fine.
Okay, so let me go back. Okay, I'm back now. Cool.
Mhm.
You know what? Let's talk about some books too, because here's another book that I think everybody has. Anybody seen this or have this book?
I
Q
don't
on.
have it.
You don't have it?
With Quincy Jones?
Quincy Jones, Q on Producing. It's an excellent book, man. Got a lot of stuff in here, and he's got a lot of tips and everything from some of the classic artists that he worked with, the sessions, some of the stuff. His book and Bruce Swedeen's book. Do you guys have Bruce Swedeen's book?
No.
Uh,
One that just came out?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's got a
no, I
couple
didn't
of
buy
books.
it.
He's got a couple of books, but he has a new one out that's really good. And yeah, and his other one too. His what's the name of the first one? I got it here somewhere. I got to find it. But I love it because he puts layouts on there. He's got a lot of documentation of certain things and concepts of why he did things and what he used and everything.
Is
And
this the Bruce Swedeen recording method?
yeah, exactly. And then the other one he has is the one that he did with Michael Jackson and
Yeah.
them on those sessions. So he has a few different things that are really cool and very helpful. And we mentioned the Alan Parsons stuff. What are some other good ones out there that are good tutorials? I
I don't know.
Yeah, my brain is kind of
Yeah.
going a little blank right now,
Same
because
here.
I've got so many different things here, but that I've checked out
Hmm.
over the course of time. I'm always downloading some things, uh, or signing up. So I had a lynda.com thing for a while that
Hmm.
had some great tutorials on there, video stuff and all this. Like I said, the thing is guys, nobody has one book in their library. So,
Right.
when I'm telling you about my stuff, I don't mind telling you about other stuff as well, because I don't expect you to just learn from me. I expect you to learn from everybody and get it there. That's what's
Hmm.
going to get you there faster. That's what I do constantly. Right now, I'm still learning from everybody. My boy Bobby Ozinski has some great training stuff. He's the guy that literally writes the book on everything. And so if you've got a chance, most people have some stuff by Bobby Ozinski, and if you got a chance to see any of his stuff, it's high, top-notch quality of what he does. He does mostly books, but he's been doing videos for lynda.com lately as well.
I got this
What's
book. I haven't
Roger
read yet.
Nichols? Yeah. Hold that up again one more time. Hold that up close to the camera again, Marish.
Roger.
Yep. Roger Nichols and the Roger Nichols recording method. Is that what that says? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah. Roger Nichols was a legend. He passed away, but he was the engineer, most notably for Steely Dan. Steely
Wow.
Dan, for those of you that are older, you know who I'm talking about, but for those
Oh
of you
yeah.
who are younger, you may not know the name, but you definitely have heard the music. It's lasted for decades. And it's some of the
Hmm.
most interesting, complex, and pristine sounding music that's ever been recorded. So, yeah,
Yeah.
he's a great
Asia
resource.
is my favorite album.
Oh yeah, I love Asia. I used to love, when I was playing guitar, that was one of the ones we played practically everything from that album in the clubs and stuff like that.
And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was lucky to meet Bernard Purdy in New York. I had a
Oh
lesson
really?
drum with him. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. That was funky drummer
incredible,
boy. Incredible
incredible.
guy. Yeah,
Oh,
definitely. Yeah,
That's pretty neat.
yeah, yeah.
I
Uh,
got
um,
a
what were you gonna say, Joseph? You were gonna say something?
I got a Gretsch guitar from Walter Becker,
Ooh, yeah.
and it was through a guitar tech that was working for Steely Dan at the same time,
Mm,
and that was pretty neat. I don't ever play it. It's
yeah.
just one of those things that got put away. You know, it's too pretty. I have a tendency to bang stuff up. You know.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny too because Walter Becker was a very underrated guitar player. I mean, even myself, being a guitar player, I wasn't. I didn't initially think. I thought, he's all right, but I was looking at the guest guys that they had on. When they had that what's my man's name? Larry Carlton and guys like that coming on there. So I'm freaking out over guys like this. Whereas I started listening to Walter Becker and saying, "Man, this guy got some serious skills." It was in subtleties in his playing that really, as I grew more sophisticated in my listening to appreciate what he was actually doing. That cat's bad, man. He wasn't no joke.
Hmm.
and he wasn't the stuff that he wasn't doing, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the ticket there too,
yeah,
right? He didn't
yeah.
step on anybody.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, everything was in just the perfect place. The tone, he would get some great tones. His touch was, I
Mhm.
mean, just little subtle stuff that, because it fits so good, you tend to overlook it because it's just perfect. It's just in place, so it doesn't draw attention to itself, and that's the best stuff. And even Donald Fagen too. Donald Fagen, I mean, he's a beast, but he knows when to just kind of lay in and put the right thing in the right place, but he can do way more than what he's showing a lot of times.
Mhm.
You know,
I
them
agree with
chord,
that
yeah,
100%. I
yeah.
really do.
Those guys, man, I love it. In fact, I'm gonna listen to them again because, like I said, I'm kind of on a
Mhm.
nostalgic listening thing, and I've been listening to a lot of rock and stuff. Late, I was listening to I went on my hip hop binge a while back. Then I went on jazz, and I went on some old school R&B. Now I'm into rock right now, and I went back to my progressive rock stuff and all that. So I was listening to Yes and Emerson, Lake and Palmer and all that
Mhm.
other stuff that was just wild and out there, and then listening to groups like Kansas and Rush and some of the,
Yeah.
so I'm just kind of been all over the place in my listening again because this is part of what forms me and makes me make better decisions at the appropriate time, So,
Right.
it's fun to me. Hey, what's up, Angela? Go ahead and unmute
Hey, how
yourself.
you doing?
Doing all right? How you doing?
Good. Been good. Been good.
Oh, that's cool. That's
Yeah, how you
cool.
doing?
Glad you could join us. What you been up to, girl?
Just I'm in the middle of taking a entertainment management class that I'm doing with more of an independent study, I guess, with Celicia Thompson, Selena Johnson's sister slash manager.
Oh,
So I've been doing that, and also in the middle of rebranding myself and about to change my name actually. So
how's that?
yeah, because my name was not working really. My artist name was Ange, and that wasn't going to work because of some iTunes things issues. And iTunes actually changed my name, I guess last year. I don't know when, but they messed up my name. So
Mm.
and then my actual real name is going to pose problems with domain, um, domain names and things like that. So
Ah.
I'm going to go ahead and do a stage name. So I'm in the process of picking that right now.
Okay, well, you want to promote it right now? Tell us
No,
what.
No,
Are
I
you?
haven't. No, I'm not ready to do that right now.
Oh, okay, I got you. Okay, cool. Well, let
Yeah,
me know because we always got a
I
forum
will.
for you.
I will. I'll definitely let you know. I'm still in the process of choosing it, and so I just actually for this course I'm taking, I really wasn't taking it for myself. I was going to be doing management for my little sister Johanna, and I still am going to be doing some of that, and I'll probably end up needing a manager myself. But as an artist, I couldn't, as a creative, and it was just really hard for me to say, oh, well, I'm just going to focus on Johanna because I'm also a singer and I have aspirations to do my own, artistry. So with that, she was saying she really wanted me to go ahead and do an artist development plan for myself as well as the one for Johanna.
Oh,
So
okay.
I turned in that yesterday. So the name decision was also in there. So hopefully she'll sign off and think that it'll fit me good. So we'll see.
Oh, good, good, good
Yeah,
for you. Yeah, that's
yeah.
cool. So you're taking a class now, and today our subject basically is some of the great learning resources out there that can help you get there faster in your career. And what is the one that you're doing now? Because that's different. While we've been talking about engineering ones and things like that, what you're mentioning now is also a big part of the equation. So you want to share that?
Well, it's an annual thing I think that she does. This is just the second time that she did it, and it's more of a one-on-one. Well, not really. It was supposed to be one-on-one. It was supposed to have been three of us, but it ended up being a one-on-one thing. And that's with Celicia Thompson, Dr. Celicia Thompson,
Oh,
who is entertainment manager for entertainment manager and sister to Selena Johnson, R&B diva.
right,
Um,
right.
but I also there's like different learning platforms that I use. Lynda.com, Groove 3, Mac Pro Video. Those are really good resources
Mac
for
Pro Video. That's the one that I kept missing. I was kept saying there's one that I'm missing.
yeah.
Mac Pro Video. Yeah, I
Mac Pro
like
Video,
him.
yeah, Mac Pro Video and Groove 3 are like my go-to. And then I just recently won a raffle with VI Control that I was able to get. It's called Think Space, and it's a composer's blueprint class that I won with. I think I don't want to mispronounce his last name, but it's Guy Michael Moore. Michael is either Mitchell Moore or Michael Moore. Anyways, he's a composer for a lot of the Marvel cartoons.
Oh,
So
okay.
so yeah, I just got notified about that this week.
Congratulations. All
Thank
right.
you,
Yeah,
Yeah.
very
thank you.
good.
Yeah, so
Uh,
it's just like it's like a 6 hour video course that I won, and then I also get some a little bit of back and forth with him through email. So that's really cool.
how cool is that? That's great.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, that's helpful. You've been
yeah.
nice and busy, huh?
Oh yeah, on top
Mhm.
of remodeling and getting ready for this move, so which
Yeah,
we're still
yeah.
waiting to hear about. So we don't know exactly when that's gonna come. When we're gonna hit the ground going down to Florida. So
Oh, yeah. Wow.
yeah, and I'm trying to think about coming to the Pensado Award. So we'll see. I might be there next week.
Yeah, you might make it down. Yeah, yeah. I'm
I
still
might make
trying
it.
to get my schedule right too. We got we got about a week and a half.
Yeah, someone asked about me going today, so we'll see if that actually happens or not. If not, I'll be there next year because I'm sure it's gonna end up being an annual
An annual thing.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I'm really interested to see who they end up picking for that mix. What was
yeah,
done. Yeah.
yeah.
That was so tough for most people and everything. I'm still going to revisit that as well too. I told everybody I was going to do that. I just got to get time to dig in and put something together for y'all. But I want to show some additional approaches to, solving some of the problems in there and bringing out the groove. Because it's in there.
Oh yeah, it was a beast. I didn't get a chance to enter the contest because I had some issues that were going on with my. I think I was having computer issues that week. I don't know. I'm always having computer issues. But but then by the time I got it open, I was like, oh wow, this is huge. Let me, I had a lot of cleaning up to do. I think I probably got it to the point where it was just to where I could have started mixing it, and I just was like, you know what? No, I'm not gonna have enough time to really dig into this like I want to, so I left it alone.
Yeah, 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 exactly. Well, the good thing is if you downloaded all the files, you use it for study and for
Yeah,
yeah, because
Mhm.
it's very good for that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, yep. Cool, cool. Well,
yeah.
well,
Did you, Khaliq, I sent you my smoothie recipe. Did you happen to get that
When did you send it?
a few days ago?
I don't
I
recall
sent you a
receiving.
photo. I sent you a photo of all the ingredients.
Oh,
With the Ninja blender with all the the fruit out and everything. Yeah,
I don't
with the
recall. I may have gotten it, and because I kind of scanned my emails, so if I didn't
Mhm.
recognize it or wasn't expecting it, it might just be still sitting in there because as you can imagine, I get like 100 so
Oh
plus
yeah.
emails every
Mhm.
day.
I hope I sent it to the right one. I did not include the 2-track that the Emily Green 2-track. I Because I wasn't sure if I should send that yet or not.
Oh yeah, yeah, man, definitely send it. You
Mhm.
sent it to Khaliq at Khaliq-O-Vision.com, right?
I'll check and see.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
not, I'll resend it to you.
Okay, yeah.
Mhm.
Um, And just to let everybody know again, here's my email address if you want to
Mhm.
contact me, Khaliq at Khaliq-O-Vision.com, and register at mymusichangouts.com to be notified when we do these
Mhm.
hangouts, usually a couple times a week. And you can go to mixingacademy.com and download that free compressor cheat sheet, um, which is really cool. I'm very proud and happy of that.
Sent me out.
So let me turn this off. And
No, it didn't. I didn't send it there.
oh,
It,
okay.
I went to Khalik and it says other. So I must have I somehow must have clicked on a different other address.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Did you try to do it through Facebook or Gmail or something?
At Gmail.
Okay, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not real good with Gmail either. I'll tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a trip. I generally use iSodarock at Live as my main email, and
Oh,
just recently decided to start with an online presence. That's just something that I've never had the need for. Um, but this year I decided to make a change. About 3 months ago, I started that process.
oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
I can build a workstation for our studio, but I can't run Google. I feel like an idiot sometimes. Yeah.
Right, right, right.
Hey, Khalik.
Yes, sir.
Uh,
Oh,
I
I guess I
just
can get off of this cheat sheet here. Hold on for a second. Let me get my picture back.
no worries.
Okay, go ahead. What were you saying?
I just remembered last year I came across this website called the BAM Audio School, run by Bruce A. Miller. He is a mixing engineer.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think I've seen that or heard of that.
Yeah,
Do you have a link for it or anything? Put a
yeah,
link in the chat box.
here it is. See that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, got it. Yeah,
Okay.
so
I
he's
gotta
got some
run.
good
I
stuff
got
too.
a drum student. Sorry.
Oh, okay. All right, buddy. Thank you for coming on. We're gonna wrap it up anyway. This is gonna be just a little short one today. Um,
Thank you.
yeah. I'm gonna post that link that he just did, and there's another resource. Uh, the BAM Audio School. I'm not okay. I thought I knew about this one, but I haven't seen it. I'll check it out and then go back. Bring it. I like to check things out before I actually post them here to be sure that everything's cool. But so yeah, I'll probably post this on another one or in our members area or something. Cool, cool. Well, yeah, those are some of the resources. Anyway, guys, I have, like I said, the Mixing Academy reopening is coming very soon. So probably about another week, and then I'm also doing my coaching training class for what I told you guys I'm going to do for the New York City mix. I'm going to do that as a private thing, probably do it as a Google Hangout, and those can only hold 10 people altogether, including myself. So that's only going to be for 9 people at a time. So I might do 2 sessions with 9 people each. So that's 18 people. I'm going to limit it to that and do 2 sessions over a few days so that I can show you guys how I would dig in on that. So anybody want to be a part of that, I encourage
Oh,
you to go ahead.
absolutely.
Yeah, go ahead and
Hey, Khaliq.
yes,
Khaliq,
yes.
when you were telling us about a couple months ago, you were talking about possibly doing, I guess, like the mixing type of contest thing where we mix something and then we have to like tell people what we use and all that stuff. Are you still going to try to do that?
Oh yeah. That's part of what I'm setting up with Mixing Academy, Angela.
Okay.
The thing that I guess is slowing me down is I'm doing all the website coding and stuff myself. I'm putting it all together. I've tried hiring different people and nobody ever seems to work out to my satisfaction. So I always end up getting sucked back into doing it myself.
Right, right.
So it's slowing me down a bit, but yeah, I definitely want to do that. But the good news is the site is coming together. I'm populating it with some really good, helpful stuff. There's going to be a lot of different levels and tiers that different people can participate at. But just to get in and involved in general, because I want it to become like another community as well, it's going to be free to become a member. And then you can just choose how, if you want to up level in any kind of way. Anybody wants to get directly to me to get some one-on-one mentoring, that we have that option. I got a handful of people that are serious high-end clients that I take care of as well. And I got to tell you, in fact I had a coaching session yesterday with one of my high-end elite clients, and we had a session and he came back to me about a couple of hours later after I mentioned some different things to do for his song. I was absolutely floored. He just got the concept. So like we were talking about Joseph earlier about it's about the concepts, about the why you're doing different things and all that. Man, this guy got it and he sent me, and he had a whole completely transformed song within a matter of hours, so
Very good.
I definitely want to do that and spread it out there big time. So anybody that wants to participate in that, please let me know. I'm going to get it going, and I'll probably start. I'm going to start taking the actual enrollment dates and times and solidify those. Probably starting sometime next week. Try to close out this month so that by the time we get into July, we're going to be rolling, rocking and rolling, y'all. Okay?
All right, cool.
Cool.
All
All right.
righty.
So everybody, I hope you had a good time. I had a wonderful time. I love doing it, and I will just check you guys out. Please come again on the very next one that we have. All right?
Oh, I'll be there.
Okay. Catch you
Thanks.
guys later. Take
All
care.
right, thanks, Khaliq.
Thanks. Take care.